What's up, everybody? My name is Brad, and today I've got another comic book review for you. And I'm going to be talking about The Rise of Kylo Ren, issue number 4, written by Charles Soule. This just came out yesterday on Wednesday, and this is the final issue in the 4-issue arc of The Rise of Kylo Ren. I apologize if my voice sounds a little raspy, but I've been training people at work this week, and basically I've been talking for 8 hours a day. So my voice is starting to go, so please bear with me. But like I said, this is The Rise of Kylo Ren, the final arc in the series, and has been detailing the downfall of Ben Solo and how he's been manipulated and twisted and how he's going to rise to be the being known as Kylo Ren. There are going to be some spoilers in this video. So if you haven't read the comic book yet, go check it out and then come back for the discussion in the video. But this issue seems to take place a little bit after we last saw Ben Solo and the Knights of Ren. They have traveled to the planet of Mimban, which I remember correctly, that planet was featured in the Solo, a Star Wars story movie, when Han Solo was on the Mud Planet and it was the battlefield with the Mud Troopers. I believe that was the planet Mimban, if I'm remembering right. So it was nice to see a callback to something we've already been a little bit familiar with. And this is obviously, 40-something years or so in the future since the Solo movie. But Ben Solo and the Knights of Ren have traveled to this planet, and they're looking for some type of relic called the Mind Splinter. We don't really get any more details on that. We just get that name drop. So that is an interesting name for something in Star Wars. It might be maybe Force related in a way, reading of the mind. Kylo does his mind trick that we see him do in The Force Awakens and the other movies, where he is able to delve into someone's mind to extract information from them, even though they're not willing to give up any information. And he finds the location of the relic that they're seeking, so they go to get that. And the two remaining Padawans that have been hunting down Ben Solo, I can't remember their names, it's a boy and a girl, but they show up and a fight ensues. So the Knights of Ren are fighting the Mimbanese people, the alien race that live on Mimban. And then Kylo Ren starts to have a fight with the Padawan. That's the one, I think his name is Vo, if I'm remembering correctly. I can't remember if that's the male or female. But they had a connection to each other when they were training together at Luke's Jedi Academy. And Vo sort of has this insight. He's able to have insight into people. So he can sort of read Kylo's emotions, or sorry, at this point, it's Ben Solo. You can sort of read his emotions and what he's thinking a bit. So they're having this duel, and I really liked how the comic was flipping back and forth between, on one page would be Ben Solo and the Padawan fighting, and the other page would be the Knights of Ren fighting the native people, and then Ren himself fighting the female Padawan, and it would flip back and forth, which I really liked. That was very enjoyable. But we see some other panels that I wasn't expecting to see in the comic. We see a little bit. Snoke is in Ben Solo's head, sort of egging him on, making him want to chase what he thinks is his destiny, and turning to the dark side. We see some Palpatine in here. I'm not sure if it's Palpatine speaking directly to Ben Solo, or if it's Palpatine talking to Ben Solo through Snoke, but we do see Palpatine in here. And one thing I was not expecting to see, there's one panel that shows Rey sort of at the pivotal moment when Ben sort of decides that he's going to do away with the light and fall towards the shadow, sort of that pivotal moment. We see a panel of Rey when she's on Jakku, and she says something along the lines, "Did you feel that cold?" She feels something in the Force. She doesn't know it's the Force at this time, but she sort of feels the moment of the downfall of Ben Solo. which I found interesting because in my mind, I didn't think that they were connected through the Force, the dyad and the Force, which we learned from the Rise of Skywalker. I didn't think they were connected by that until the events of The Last Jedi. And Snoke said he did that. But Stacy from the Gray Lioness reads, and I'll put a link to her channel down in the description. We were talking about it on Twitter. She said that she thought Snoke was lying and that the Force actually connected them together instead of Snoke, which makes more sense because in the Rise of Skywalker movie, Palpatine, who was supposedly controlling Snoke the whole time, he didn't know that they had this connection. So it makes sense that he or Snoke didn't do it, that maybe the Force joined them together. So that was a nice bit that I wasn't expecting to see. Some of the rest of it played out a little predictable with what happens to Ren himself, the leader of the Knights of Ren, and what Kylo does. I mean, from the title of the comic and the movies, we know he's turning to the dark side. We know any attachments he had before he became Kylo Ren probably aren't going to make it. But there was some great artwork in here, some great panels showing the downfall of Kylo Ren and then him taking over the mantle of the leader of the Knights of Ren himself. And the last few pages I really enjoyed. He had his kyber crystal and he started to bleed the kyber crystal, reminiscent of how Vader bled a kyber crystal in the Charles Soule Vader series. And he's pouring his rage and his hate and his anger into that. And I'm not sure if it does shatter and it breaks into two pieces. I'm not sure if that's because he was so full of hate or if he still has that little bit of light side in him that he couldn't go fully dark. But regardless, it shatters his kyber crystal. He puts it in the lightsaber and the blade is unbalanced. So that's how you see it in the movie. He creates the vent ports, so he sort of has the cross guard. And it ends with Snoke talking to him. Actually, can't remember if it's Snoke or Palpatine asking him, "What is your name?" And it sort of ends with him brandishing his new red crossguard lightsaber. And we know that he's going to take the name of Kylo Ren. But that's all I really have to say about it. Overall, as the 4 comic series, overall I did really enjoy it. This issue in particular I gave 4 stars. But overall, the series in general, I did really enjoy it. If you're a Star Wars fan, a Kylo Ren fan of the new sequel trilogy, I do suggest you check out the issues. It's only 4 issues, so it's a pretty quick read, but it was enjoyable. But it did bring up more questions for me that I hope are answered in the Rise of Skywalker novelization, mainly dealing with Palpatine and Snoke and what their relationship is and how they were controlling Ben. Was Palpatine controlling Snoke really, or was Snoke his own individual that Palpatine was sort of the puppet master of? More with Kylo and Rey's relationship with the Dyad and the Force and all that kind of stuff. I hope we get more answers in that movie novelization that's coming out here in just a couple weeks. But again, that's all I have to say about it. So if you've read it or have any thoughts or comments, please let me know down in the comment section below. That's all I have for you guys today. So again, my name is Brad. Thanks for spending your time with me, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.